Button, we good? All right. Okay, everybody, this is papyrus. Okay, papyrus grows in along the banks of the Nile. It also grows on the banks of my pond at home. And this is really what it looks like. Yesterday morning, I went in and I just cut these few stalks to bring in here. Okay, so anybody want to feel? Anybody want to kind of feel the actual plant itself and see how sturdy it is, how strong it is? You can go ahead and pass that around if you want. It shouldn't be that wet. All right, so what I want to show you today is how papyrus was made into paper by the ancient Egyptians. All right, the first thing that the ancient Egyptians did was to cut. Hey guys. All right. The first thing that the ancient Egyptians did was to slice the papyrus into lengths that would be appropriate for paper, and they did it like this. Okay. And then the next step was to, and guys, you know what? If you're in the back, you can come up here and kind of gather around. That'll be fine.
Start gathering.
Yeah, you go ahead and take it out. Okay, and the next step was to slice off the outer layer of the papyrus. Okay, so they had a knife, and
be careful.
They would just do it like this. Okay. Thank you, Angie. See how this works? So you.
What's it smell like?
Oh no, come here and smell it. It really doesn't smell bad at all.
This is so exciting.
Can you eat it?
No. I wouldn't. And I especially wouldn't eat this. Okay, so you go ahead and you take the outer layer off. That's what we're doing here. You know what? There is a lot of sugar in this plant. And actually, that's kind of important. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it with this one piece right here. Okay? You take all the others. So now what you're going to do is, these are all kind of roughly the same size. You're going to do that with all of the pieces of papyrus that you have. Okay. Now the next step is to slice thin pieces. Now this is a little bit more tricky. Thin pieces of papyrus, like this. I won't. I'll try. Okay, so I went ahead and cut 3 pieces. All right. That are all of similar width. All right, right here. See? Now the next step is to soak all of these pieces, once you slice them, in water. And you have to soak them for about 24 to 48 hours. Okay, now I have some that I sliced over the weekend. And I'll be honest with you, what I did over the weekend, I don't think look as good as these. So I think if we were to soak these, we would have much better results with our papyrus paper. But I will show you what I did this. I'll take the pieces out that I did this weekend. Okay, so these are some of the slices here. And these were also a little bit too thick for me. These were thicker than what I wanted originally. But for demonstration purposes, I think they'll be okay. Okay, those few. Okay, so after these have been soaked for about 4 to 8 hours, in just regular water. And the reason why you soak them is because inside the papyrus plant is sugar. Okay, and you soak them to release the sugar. And the next step, you'll see where that sugar comes into play. The next step is that's why I brought the rolling pin. You want to flatten them out. Flatten all of these pieces out. So let's try that with a couple. See how it works.
Did they use rocks?
No. Well,
Bones.
yeah, probably. I mean, they had their own version. Now, there's a lot of water that's got out of this. And that's why I brought a paper towel. Okay. So you're rolling it.
Is that sugar?
What?
It's like all gluey.
Well, that glue exactly is the sugar that I was talking about. Yeah, everybody, come on up. Come a little bit closer if you cannot see. You're rolling out all the water. These are remaining to be very flat. No, you do not want to eat it.
But it has sugar in it.
No.
It smells like
You're the one who was asking if it was fruit.
I thought, no, when you first told us, I thought it was a fruit that you were going to bring in.
No.
It's like a sugar cane. I'm so serious.
Look up, Mario.
All right. So now the next step. Now what you have is you have all of these papyrus that have been flattened out. You have all of these papyrus that have been flattened out. And now what you have to do, first of all, while I'm doing this, I want you guys to pass these around, you know? Yesterday we learned about Nefertiti.
I think she's so
This
cool.
is this is a depiction of her famous bust. And what I want you to do is go ahead and feel the paper. Please be very careful because the paper of papyrus.
Want me to pass it around?
Smell like it.
Oh, I need a picture of this.
All right, you feel?
Yeah, I felt that.
You can take it out of the plastic.
Don't snap at the man. He was not going to food. He was like, oh, my food.
I don't.
Okay. All right. You can pass these around. Please be very careful because they will rip.
What happens? Is it actual Egyptian made?
Well, papyrus comes from Egypt, so yes.
Well, it's also in your backyard.
Yeah, you can plant. You can plant. I live where?
In denial.
Yeah. I jet here every morning.
No.
Take a picture of this because this is the most important part right here. So what you do, everybody come up here, you take the flattened pieces and you kind of line them up like this where they overlap just a tiny bit. Now this is where it's really important that you get pieces that are of similar width and similar length. Okay? So when you kind of put them together like this. Okay? And when you finish taking them all the way over, just like, where's the papyrus sheet that I have?
Over there.
Okay? Can I see it a minute? Okay, you will notice right here inside this papyrus, what has been done is you see papyrus being laid out vertical, and then you see them being laid out crossways, horizontally. So this is, in actuality, the finished product has 2 layers of papyrus on top, one layer on top of the other. One going vertical and one going horizontal. So when you finish laying them vertical like this, what you do is, Angie, would you like to hold that for me, please?
Did you make this?
No. So basically, and I'll just use these 5 that I already have. What you'll do is then, imagine that these are all laid out to here, and then you will take these and lay them crossways, like that, and go all the way down. So you realize that you have to have like 3, 6, 9, 12, like you need to have probably a minimum of 50 pieces of papyrus that have been soaked for 48 hours and then rolled and flattened to make, one good long sheet. Now, if they're this wide, this one, then you might not need quite as many. But you'll need about anywhere from 30 to 50 pieces to really get a nice sheet of papyrus like this. Okay, so the last step, after these have been laid out horizontal and vertical, is you find 2 large pieces of block, and you lay them on top of, you lay this out and you put it one on top and one on the bottom, and you kind of just press them together, and you leave them there for a week while they get flat and while they dry out, and then you should have a piece of papyrus like this, hopefully, when you're done, that you can write on. And the ancient Egyptians wrote on this papyrus. This was their first paper. And surprisingly, papyrus lasts a very long time. So it's kind of interesting. They will last, if under the right condition, they'll last for, a very, very long time. Okay? So do we have any questions on papyrus? How to make it? Okay, guys. Well, listen, thanks a lot. This was a lot of fun.